my dear, bliss, here, there, and everywhere. Joy above and joy below, joy flowing with the wind, filling the sky and rising around and lingering in the world. Joy frolicking all around, bliss, my dear, bliss. Golden rays of the sun, moonlight too, smiling through, evening blossoming with love, sings a song with delight. Colorful clouds and an engrossed mind and song in my heart. Here, there, and everywhere, bliss, my dear, bliss. Listening to these lines, our heart too easily fills with joy. Everyone experiences such overpowering bliss at some time or other. But it is a rare poet who can describe this joy in such a melody. The lines that I just read out are from a poem by Triambak Bapuji Thomre, better known as Balkavi. A warm welcome to the 17th episode of Granth Yatra. Today, we are going to read Balkavi's poems. In the year 1907, a poetry conference was organized at Jalgaon in Maharashtra. 23 prominent poets such as N.V. Tilak, Vishnu Mahajani were present at the conference. A young Triambak Thomre, who was attending the conference, impressed the audience and the organizers by reading a few poems composed on the spot. That's when he received the title of Balkavi, which literally means a young poet, and he came to be known by this name for his literary career. Balkavi's poems are inspired by nature, which he visualized as a source of heavenly beauty and joy. He praised these qualities of nature wholeheartedly in his poems. For example, in his poem The Dawn, he sketches beautiful word pictures one after the other as he describes the beauty of dawn. पूर्व समुद्री छटा पसरली रम्य सुवर्णाची, कुणी उधळली मूठ नभी ही लाल गुलालाची. A lovely golden hue spreads across the eastern ocean. Who throws to the sky a fistful of vermilion? Is it the god of dawn who paints this sky, or is it this poet filling the world with inspiration? Is it the charming young lady of the dawn who draws the exquisite, colorful designs with her lovely hand? Balkavi not only sees beauty in the nature, but he visualizes human emotions mirrored in its constituents. In his poem Evening and Night, the sun and the evening turn into lovers. The lord of her heart sleeps in the western pavilion, and the evening turns red as she watches him. She peeps, she smiles, and shyly wonders, wouldn't I give up my life for him? Spotting his lovelorn darling, Charmer the sun, gives her a sweet kiss before departing. In his poem Song of the Stars, the poet gives us a dialogue of the stars. No one, oh no one can see us. It's all quiet. Come now, come this way. Shyly and smiling a little, let us play a whilst no one watches. While characterizing the constituents of the nature, at times his pen creates a delicate fairy tale. In his famous poem The Flower Queen, on spotting a flower bud, his imagination creates a wonderful story. हिरवे हिरवे गार गालीचे हरित तृणाच्या मखमालीचे, त्या सुंदर मखमालीवरती फुलराणी ही खेळत होती. Deep green are the carpets of the velvety green grass, and this flower queen plays on that exquisite velvet. Initially, this bud is an innocent girl. Then one day, the evening wind teases her. My little darling, whom are you staring at? That handsome ray of the sun, has he charmed your heart? And then, that flower queen begins to pine for the ray of the sun. Dawn breaks and the nature gets ready to welcome the ray of light. A shining new tent is raised, bright in all directions, and the heavenly guests arrive amidst a shower of pearls. The nature's poets sing auspicious verses. The curtain of fog is removed, and the ray of the sun meets the flower queen. Similarly, in his poem The Evening Star, He imagines that the first star to appear in the evening sky is the little baby born out of the union of the day and night. The lovely little baby born from the union of the hearts of day and night lights the sky with its delicate rays and plays therein. Picturesque descriptions is another specialty of Balkavi's poetry. When describing the nature, he not only creates a word picture of the physical nature, but also of its reflection in his mind. In his poem To the Brook, he paints a lively picture of a stream cascading over hills. The mountains and meadows, through the valleys it echoes, jumping over the hills and bending around the bushes, throwing himself over the boulders, round and round he circles the shoulders. And soon, this ordinary stream gives him a glimpse of a universal truth. This mountain and this valley, O valley, is filled with your song so jolly. The forest is filled with melody. There's song above and below is melody. The animate and inanimate is all in tune. The whole universe rocks and swoons. The manifest and the unmanifest is dancing to your tune. But in the end, the poet laments that although he is a bard, he cannot compose such a heavenly song. Such picturesque descriptions in his poems sometimes lead to pleasing tapestries of color. His poem, The Month of Shravan, is an excellent example of this. In the month of Shravan, the heart is glad and the grass is green all around. This moment there's rain, and in the next there's sun. Up there appears a pair of rainbows. Who hangs that auspicious wreath there? At the sunset, and the evening is here. Houses and treetops, they bathe in yellow. In his poem Cotton Wool Clouds, his imagination transforms the ordinary scene of the moon and clouds into beautiful verses. Cotton wool clouds painted in pale blue, and a light stroke of saffron paints I know not who. A smiling queen moon peeping through, making the edges of the clouds bathe in pearly water. However, the same picturesque descriptions take a startling turn in his poem The Fig Tree. ऐल तटावर पैल तटावर हिरवाळी घेऊन निळा सावळा झरा वाहतो बेटा बेटातून. Green grass on the right and green grass on the left, the dark and blue stream meanders through aisles. A little village huddles near the hill yonder. The green farms crowd up thick beyond. A narrow white lane zigzags in its midst, and through the green meadows reaches the dark pond. And casting dark sweet shadows on the wavelets, the fig tree sits with its feet in the water. Along with picturesque description, this poem reveals a lively scene. Like a skilled painter creating a picture with a few strokes of his brush, or like a movie camera panning through a landscape, the first 6 lines of this poem describe a little village surrounded by meadows and a little stream flowing near it. But in the concluding 2 lines, we suddenly come across a mysterious, solemn, and still fig tree. We see a similar animated description in his poem, The Little Bird. When describing a bird carousing in the evening sky, he says, त्या तेजाचा प्राण चिमुकला संध्येचा दूत बालविहग आनंद मूर्तिमन झुलतो गगनात. The little messenger of the evening, the soul of that brightness, the little bird joyfully carouses in the sky. In a moment here and in a moment there he swirls, as if a magical spin in the sky. Balkavi's poetry is very melodious. No wonder many of his poems were turned into sweet songs. The song based on his poem, My Song, is very famous. माझे गाणे एकच माझे नित्याचे गाणे माझे गाणे. This poet, who looked for beauty and melody in nature, would often get lost playing with children. Few would know that this lullaby was written by him. Say, little one, say something, how priceless is your speech. Sway, little one, sway a little, weigh the daisies in heaps. And many of you may have heard this little song in your childhood. Chirp, 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 who's out there? Brother crow, did you take my nest away? No, dear sister sparrow, why would anyone take it away? Balkavi taught the readers to notice beauty in ordinary things around us. He celebrated the scenes commonly observed around home, in the garden, or in the sky through his poetry. Through melodious verses, he expressed the sweet thoughts and soft feelings that arose in his mind in the presence of that beauty. And it is this poetry that cast a spell on his readers. But the poet who got ecstatic in the presence of this natural beauty sometimes got drowned in an equally intense depression. His mind would get enveloped with dark shadows of dejection and sorrow. He describes this state of his mind in poems such as The Poet Babies, The Weak Ship, and Depression. कोठून येते मला कळेना उदासीनता ही हृदयाला, काय बोचते ते समजेना हृदयाच्या अंतर्हृदयाला. I do not know from where my heart catches this despair. Deep down I do not know what breaks my heart's glow. In his poem The Messengers of Death, he says, the stern ghosts of circumstances drain my mind in an instant. The memory then awakens, and the heart burns and turns a ghost. Let us hear more about Balkavi's poetry from poet Asavari Kakade.
बालकवींच्या कविता वाचताना सहज लक्षात येतं की निसर्गातील सौंदर्याचा आस्वाद हे त्यांच्या कवितेचं अंतःसूत्र आहे. उन्मुक्त आनंद असो की काळवंडणारं वैफल्य असो, निसर्गात रममाण झालेले बालकवी निसर्ग प्रतिमांमधूनच आपल्या भावना व्यक्त करतात. त्यांच्या प्रेमकविताही वेगळ्या काढता येत नाहीत. वाल कुलकर्णी यांनी तर म्हटलं आहे, बालकवींची निसर्ग कविता हीच त्यांची प्रेमकविता होय. अनेकार्थी कवितेप्रमाणे अनेक रूपांमध्ये प्रकटणारा निसर्गही ज्याचा त्याचा वेगळा असतो. बालकवींचा त्यांनी निर्मिलेला स्वतःचा निसर्ग होता आणि तो घरात बसून कल्पना केलेला नाही, तर प्रत्यक्ष अनुभवलेला होता. आत्मसात केलेला आशय कवितेत उतरावा, तसा त्यांनी आत्मसात केलेला निसर्ग प्रतिनिसर्ग बनून त्यांच्या कवितेत उतरला. त्यातील सळसळते चैतन्योद्गार, निरामय सौंदर्य, चित्रमयता, रंगांची पेरणी, त्याला मिळालेली नादलय, निसर्ग घटितांना दिलेली मानवी रूपं ही बालकवींच्या स्वप्नाळू कविमनाची प्रत्यक्षाहून प्रतिमा उत्कट अशी निर्मिती होती. बालकवींच्या कविता समजून घेताना त्यांचा अल्पायुषी जीवनपट, त्यांचा काळ, त्यांच्यावर झालेला केशवसुतांसारख्या कवींच्या कवितांचा संस्कार या गोष्टी लक्षात घेतल्या जातात. या पार्श्वभूमीवर त्यांच्या कवितेत डोकावणाऱ्या बालवृत्तीची चिकित्सा केली जाते. त्यांच्या कवितेत येणारा लढिवाळपणा, कवितांची आशय कक्षा मर्यादित असणं, अनुभवाला अनुभवत्व येण्यापूर्वीच ते कवितेत उतरणं, अद्भुताप्रत गेलेली कल्पनारम्यता कवितेत येणं, काव्यात्म अनुभव पूर्णपणे संवेदनानिष्ठ असणं ही या बालवृत्तीची चिन्ह आहेत. बालकवींच्या कवितेची ही बलस्थानही आहेत आणि एका अर्थी मर्यादाही आहेत. सर्व माणसं सतत भाषेचा वापर करत असतात. त्याच रोजच्या वापरातील भाषेतल्या शब्दांना कवी आपल्या संवेदनेनं वेगळा आयाम देत असतात. बालकवींच्या कवितेची भाषा तर आतल्या प्रकाशानं उजळलेली, उत्कटतेनं ओथंबलेली होती. त्यामुळे फुलराणी, श्रावणमासी, गर्दसभोवती, औदुंबर, तारकांचे गाणे, चिमणीचा घरटा अशा कविता वाचताना त्यांच्या जिवंत प्रतिमासृष्टीचा आपल्याला प्रत्यय घेता येतो. त्यांचं मानसिक वर्तमान काळात वावरणं अनुभवता येतं. बालकवींच्या सर्व परिचित अशा निसर्ग कवितांखेरीज त्यांनी काही कवितेविषयक कविता, बालकविताही लिहिल्या. त्यांची काही अपूर्ण कथाकाव्येही आहेत. धर्मवीर ही सामाजिक आशयाची कविता त्यांनी केशवसुतांच्या तुतारी कवितेच्या धर्तीवर लिहिलेली होती. पण अशा कविता लिहिणं हा बालकवींच्या कवितांचा स्वभाव नाही. आनंदी आनंदगडे असं म्हणत निसर्ग सान्निध्यात आनंदोत्सव साजरा करणाऱ्या बालकवींना वैफल्यानं ग्रासलं तेव्हा मात्र त्यांना त्यातून विचारपूर्वक बाहेर पडता आलं नाही. त्यांच्या भाववृत्तीच्या सुकुमारपणाला जाणिवेच्या कणखरपणाची जोड मिळू शकली नाही, असं त्र्यं.मी. सरदेशमुख यांनी अंधार यात्रा या पुस्तकातील एका लेखात बालकवींविषयी म्हटलं आहे. काही असलं तरी बालकवींनी आपल्या कवितांमधून साजरा केलेला आनंदोत्सव जनमानसात अजून रेंगाळतो आहे. त्यांनी स्वतः हा विश्वास त्यांच्या माझे गाणे या कवितेत निरध्वनी हे मूक गान है यास म्हणो कोणी, निरध्वनी हे मूक गान है यास म्हणो कोणी, नभात हे साठवले याने दुमदुमली अवनी, नभात हे साठवले याने दुमदुमली अवनी या शब्दात नोंदवून ठेवलेला आहे.
For a few years, Balkavi lived with another famous poet N.V. Tilak and his writer wife Lakshmibai Tilak at their home in Ahmednagar. Here, he came in contact with many other poets and enjoyed an encouraging atmosphere for writing poetry. When living in Pune, he became friends with poets such as Govindagraj, Divakar, and Bhalachandra. Balkavi wrote some love poetry too, but these poems focus more on the imaginary feeling of love than an actual experience. He also wrote a few philosophical poems. At times, he preached lofty goals, such as in this poem, "Why do you turn petty? Why do you get carried away? You insult the light and are wasted in darkness. Defeat the death and conquer life. Break these jails and make way for light." And at other times, he composed poems similar to Abhangas. The world is permeated by divinity and your conduct should be divine. That's the key propounded by the saints. May I pray to them day and night. And myself burn away. Balkavi also had an ambition to complete a long historical poem. He had composed an unfinished poem named Daulat Rao's Manjula and a few other passages. They were perhaps the rough drafts of his intended long poem. This poet, who sang the beauty of nature, composed melodies, and worshipped nature, passed away in a railway accident at the mere age of 28. Had he lived longer, he would have composed many more wonderful poems. I'm sure you would love reading Balkavi's poetry. The link to the collection of his entire poetry is given in the description below this video. Do read it. We shall meet again next Friday to watch a play. Until then, keep reading. But before saying goodbye, I'm going to sing another of Balkavi's song for you. गर्द सभोवती रान साजणी, तू तर चाफे कळी, तू तर चाफे कळी, काय हरवले सांग शोध शोधिसी, काय हरवले सांग शोधिसी, या यमुनेच्या जळी ग.